Well, hey there, welcome to this lesson of the church video series. We left you hanging in the last video. We're in the section of this series called storytelling, and in this lesson we'll be finishing up that section with the fourth and final video. It's called Thesis, as we discuss the fourth component of every great story. You know, during my time at Bible college, I took several classes on preaching, and my preaching professor always had one point that he would hammer in during every class, and that point was the one big thing, and he also called this the sermon in a sentence. The idea was essentially that the essence and the purpose of your sermon would deconstruct into a single foundational idea, and this would be the thesis of your sermon. And this is a truth that I've applied to all my videos as well. Before I pick up my camera and before I start shooting, I need to be able to deconstruct the whole video into a single sentence, a single purpose, the thesis. If I remember correctly from science class in high school, a thesis was a statement that was providing the reasoning behind the research or the experiment that was being done. And if you want your videos to maximize in their potential, they should have a thesis statement as well. My preaching professor always explained it to me this way: you have a message that you want to share with your audience, and the more targeted, direct, and succinct that you can make that message, the more impact it's going to have. He always told me to take the shotgun approach, a single packed idea that has enough impact to make a serious impression on someone. It's a single bullet, and you're aiming it very precisely. On the flip side, he would always say, don't take the sand approach. And this would be like taking your hand, reaching it to in a sandbox, picking up a big handful of sand, and throwing at someone. Yeah, definitely you're gonna probably hit them, but it's gonna be everywhere, and it's not gonna make a serious impression on them, despite the fact that they'll be pretty upset with you, for several minutes. And part of the success of each one of the videos that you make will hinge on your ability to whittle down the ideas and the messages of each video into a single idea that you want to share with your audience, and power packing that idea into a direct approach. As we've learned through this section, storytelling is the core of every great video, and the thesis is the backbone of storytelling. So here are some practical ideas on developing the thesis for your next video. Number one, why should anyone care about this? This is the best question to ask yourself when you're at the preliminary stages of making your video, because it's going to cause you to dig through all the fluff and get to the core idea and purpose of why you are deciding to make this video. Why am I making this? And will anyone care? What's the purpose behind it? Number two, know what you're going to say before you say it. Have you ever had someone say to you, have you ever said to someone, did you even think about what you were saying before you said that? If you haven't said it to someone, maybe you've had someone say it to you. I know that's happened to me on multiple occasions, because this is the paramount of bad social conduct. Blurting something out without even really thinking about the consequences or the repercussions of what you're saying. When professionals make videos, they storyboard and they script along with having their thesis, and I'm not saying that you have to do that, but if a thesis is the backbone of storytelling, and storytelling is the core of making great videos, before you go out and you begin shooting, make sure that you have your thesis. Make sure that you know what you're trying to say with each shot and with each word that's being said, because if you don't, you're going to go out and get a wide array of shots, and when you try to composite a video that's cohesive and makes sense, you're not going to be able to fit all the puzzle pieces together, because it's going to be having different pieces of different puzzles and trying to coordinate and arrange one nice big picture, and it's just not going to happen. And number three, video in a sentence. Every time my preaching professor would try to explain the concept of sermon in a sentence, one student would raise their hand and say, well, what about a couple sentences? And that's because it's easy to want to add a bit here and there, but really try to whittle down your idea to a single, succinct sentence. I mean, even if it's a run-on sentence, I guess that's okay, because your ability to do this, if you're able to do this, it's really going to enhance the overall final quality of your video. Well, there you have it, the final element of every great story, thesis. We've now finished the storytelling section of the church video series. If you haven't watched all four, you can go back to the main church video series page where it has all the lessons in one place, and you can watch through it. And now, finally, we're entering into a very exciting section. It's going to be called the editing section, and this is when we have all of our stuff. We have taken the basics, we've shot our footage, and now we're sitting down at our computer ready to begin editing. So I'll see you in that next lesson. If you haven't already, become a subscriber at ProChurchTools.com. You'll gain access to the exclusive Pro Church Toolkit that's going to give you ebooks and videos and everything that you need to become the best church media person ever. Maybe not quite, but it'll give you a good leg up on that. So go do that, and I'll see you in the next lesson in the editing section.